Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about success is right in your face. All of the successes, all of the riches, all of the changes that you want in your life on a financial, personal, emotional level is right there in your face. It's right there in your face. And I'm going to prove it to you. And then I'm also going to show you how you can start becoming aware of how to see that success so you can make changes in your life. So before I get started, the number one thing that you got to do is you got to get your body moving and feeling good about moving forward. Have you ever looked at a football team coming out of the tunnel, and what if they just came walking out looking like this? They would have already lost before they even got on the field. You could be doing this and you don't even know it. I call it getting out of, when I get out of bed, I call it waking up 2 times. The first time is your body, you crawl out of bed. Second time, you get your mind in the right mindset. That's the second time you wake up your mind. But part of waking up your mind so you don't be on automatic is to get your body moving in the right direction. So if you wake up and you're in a bad mood, you don't feel good, whatever, you feel sluggish or whatever feeling you have, it doesn't matter what feeling you have. What matters is that you have the power inside of you to change that feeling. One of the number one ways that people can change their feeling, this is going to blow your mind. The number one way, and I want you to do this with me right now. The number one way that you can change the way that your body feels is to change the position of your body. What about this? The victory pose. We won. I'm a winner. How about this? Hand up in the air, fist up in the air, victory poses. How about just looking like you know that you are successful, like you feel good about yourself? How about coming in? I do this a lot at my office. Come in, nobody is even here right now, and I'll come in clapping, because you got to make yourself feel good. Other people cannot make you feel good. That's just going to be temporary. You have to get into the mode of waking up in the morning and throughout your whole day making yourself feel good. Now, I understand you've probably tried some new ideas and they didn't work. You've probably, you see other people. How can they be successful? How can they do it and you can't do it? I understand those feelings and those frustrations. You probably started new opportunities. I see a lot of people, they see another business opportunity they started, they don't have any success. They jump onto another one they started and don't have any success. I'm going to show you why you don't have success in the things that you try to do. Now, I know that you want to learn. You want to learn, but you don't want to waste your time with something that's not going to really benefit you. I understand that completely. If you just did what I just told you to do earlier, where I said, get your body moving in the right direction, you already know that gave you a different feeling on the inside. And now I'm going to give you some more information on how you can start to make those changes in your life, because regardless, you might want fame, fortune, you might want to be a famous YouTuber, you might want to have the biggest company on the planet, or maybe you just want to have a nice, comfortable lifestyle where you got money in the bank, you feel good, you have a business if you want to have a business, and you just don't have the worries that other people have. I'm going to show you how to get there, because success is right there in your face. So first, let me give you some information. And I did not come up with this. You could widely look at this on the internet, that we receive as humans from all of the information that's out there. And of course, this has grown because of the internet, that we get about 2 million bits of information on a daily basis. Bits of information on a daily basis. We internalize about 134,000 bits of information on a daily basis is what we have. Now, I'm going to show you Because your mind is like, Steve, what are you talking about? 2 million? I wouldn't even be able to move through the day if I knew that I was thinking about or getting 2 million pieces of information thrown at me on a daily basis. We all are getting way more than that. And I'm going to break down how it comes to us. And then I'm also going to tell you how we end up dealing with it throughout our lives, and that the reason why the way that we deal with that is actually the reason why we are blind to success that's right in our faces. Because number one, so first, how does it even start to minus from 2 million down to 134,000? We start to delete. And what I'm going to do here, let me change my color here. This is what we do. We delete, we distort, and I'm looking at my notes here, and we generalize. We generalize the information. So now, so with delete, that means that you can get information, and we've all done this before. We've all done this before. Someone tells you something and you just don't accept it. You just don't accept it. Someone shows you something that you don't agree with internally, you just bypass it. You don't even want to talk about it. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to see it. So you just delete that. We've all done that stuff. The next one is we start to distort. That means that information that comes to us, we start to change it. Even though that information is what it is, we start to change it and distort it. Now, the distortion is it could be based on where we grew up. It could be based on our culture. It could be based on something that happened to us in the past. It could be based on the way that you feel about the information that you're getting. It could be various things. But the most important thing to understand is that you will distort it. And then the other one, which is probably the biggest that we do with the information that we do want to either know or that we end up becoming more conscious about, is where we generalize stuff. Now, this is the way that we can generalize. I'm going to give you some examples. Generalization means that you start to cut out the information that gets you to that bit of to what that information is about. So let me give you an example. If you like chocolate, you don't start like chocolate tastes good. You just end up saying chocolate tastes good. You don't say chocolate tastes good because it's made of milk and cocoa or whatever, all the stuff, that ingredients and all. You don't say that to people. You just end up saying chocolate tastes good. Or if it's about a person, he's a good person or she's a good person. You don't throw out there all of the reasons why, because you start to generalize. Or that's a bad person. Or those people are bad people. You start to generalize. You start to delete everything that got you there so it can make it easier for you as an individual, easier for all of us. Now, I include myself in this, to be able to take that information and not have to use so much brain power when you're talking or describing something, or you're talking about people, or even trying to do something for your business. So now, if we got 2 million, we delete, distort, generalize to get down to 134. What is that stuff? And they call it a mind map. Like, what is all of this stuff that we're getting? So we get this information, which translates from delete, distort to generalize. And this is based on what we've done in our lives, because this is a filter. If you can imagine, you got an oil filter, or you got a filter for your air conditioner. It's a filter, and as it goes through that filter, that's what you've experienced in your life. And that's why all of this stuff can end up coming out in a different way when you try to do stuff to become more successful, to try to make more money, to try to change yourself on an emotional or personal level. it won't work the same way that you see it work for other people. And it's because you are blind to the success. You're blind to seeing what is right there in your face. Because the way that the human mind does all of this stuff is we go through, and mind and body. I don't want to forget the body, the mind and body. A lot of people focus just on the mind. The body, you get the body going first, all of this other stuff will start to get into place, because the body will give you the energy to keep going forward to be able to accomplish this stuff. So what you're going to start to do, and what we all start to do, is we see these bits of information. It could be in pictures, it can be in sounds, it can be in smells, it can be taste, it can be touch, it can be sensation. So with pictures, how many times have you said, that doesn't look right? And then someone else can look at it and say, what do you mean it doesn't look right? So you got two people looking at the same thing, and they're like seeing two different things. It doesn't look right. What doesn't look right? That looks right. What looks right? The reason why is because of that filter process. You've experienced this yourself, probably with a family member. With sounds, you hear something and you say to someone else, did you hear that? No, I didn't hear that. This is something that me and my wife go through almost on a daily basis. When we get ready to go to bed, there'll be a sound and she'll be like, did you hear that? And I'll be like, I didn't hear that. She's like, why? You didn't hear that? And I'm like, no, I didn't hear that. Next one, smells. Have you ever been around where someone say, do you smell that? And you be like, I don't smell that. What are you talking about, that smell? And then if you do smell it and you describe the smell, you don't smell it the same way that they smell it. Again, that's that delete, distort generalization. That's a filter. Remember, if you could just imagine that that's a filter. All of this is a filter for that information. So it could be a smell, and even if they both smell it and it just say it's the worst smell, they will still filter that worst smell through their own filter. So yes, it smells bad, but if you say describe it, one person might describe it as one way and the other person describes it as another way, and that's that filter. The next one is the taste. Same thing with taste. This is the easy one, actually, because you can look at foods, and a lot of people say people get that taste from their, from the way that the foods that they ate when they were growing up. Like it's an acquired taste. You've probably heard that before. Touch. When you touch things, that's like you actually experience. When trying to become, on your way up to success, one of the things that I learned early when I was, getting myself going and starting to train my mind and body towards success was people like Tony Robbins that I used to listen to, or Marshall Silver, Napoleon Hill. They always talked about you need to touch, because when you touch, it feels real. Back when I was growing up, I used to want to touch expensive cars, because that once you touch that car, in a way, that's like an experience. Your body, reason why you touch is because your body starts to feel that. A lot of times, think about this. Have you ever done this, where you went to a shopping mall, or and there's expensive stores, and for some reason you didn't even want to go into that expensive store because you can't even afford anything in that expensive store? We've all done that before, but let me tell you that is what, like a great example of success is right in your face. Because if you can't afford anything in that store, the way to not be able to afford anything in that store, the way to be able to afford stuff that's in that store is not to not want to go into that store. Remember, the body first. You get the body moving first. You can go in that store and you say, okay, that watch costs $10,000. Okay, now I know how much that watch costs. Now I can get my body moving. If I really want something like that, what do I have to do? That's the process. But the reason why most people can never get to afford anything, never get to a certain level of success, is they truly, deep down, don't know the rock bottom cost of that success. So if you, just like you want to know that watch costs $10,000, you know that you got to come up with the money to get that $10,000 watch. You deep down know that watch is $10,000. But when you try to become successful, you tend to be all over the map, doing, distorting, deleting, and all of that stuff you don't even know. And then that's why, because you don't know the rock bottom things that you got to do. The rock bottom, like the deep down inside things that you're going to have to do to be able to get yourself to that level of success. Because once you know that, you'll be able to get there. Trust me, you will be able to get there. The problem is that you're just on the surface. You're not below the surface where all of the stuff matters. And this is where that stuff is. What about sensations? Have you ever been in a place or you thought, like, maybe you were talking to someone and you were like, it just doesn't seem right. I just don't get a good feeling about this person, or I don't get a good feeling about this place. Those sensations in your body, they are not necessarily all of this stuff. All of this stuff doesn't necessarily tell you the truth about what is happening. What it's telling you is that from your filter of what you've went through in your life, the way that you programmed yourself, which is the way that life has programmed you from your upbringing, what you've experienced in the past, the people you respected, the people you looked up for, that filter has given you a thought process, and then you've added on to that thought process as you went through your life. So now let's talk about how we can break down and start to see success. If we have this box here, and we have all of these bits of information that's coming to us, and then right in the middle, I'm just going to use this. This is where money is. This is where money is. Right now, this could be right there in front of your face. Right now, it can be right in front of your face. But all of this here from your filter, all of this from your filter is stopping you from being able to see it. So now I'm about to give you a quick fix, something that I utilize on myself, something that I've actually put into action right now for one of my businesses because I wanted to take it to another level. I call this, you've heard the expression, you got to think outside of the box. Well, people, when they say that, they're like, you got to think outside of the box. Well, what the hell is thinking outside of the box means? That's easy for someone to say you got to think outside of the box. What, you want me to think of everything else that's outside of the box? Well, if they get you thinking about the stuff that's outside of the box, that's going to even intensify the problems that you have with delete, distort, and generalization. What we want to do is we want to attack and become aware and stop the automatic filtering process that we go through with this. So what you want to do is, number one, you want to become aware. You want to become conscious about the way that you start to feel, the pictures that start to come in your mind, the way that you start to react, the way that your body starts to either turn or change, whatever it is. You need to become aware of all of that stuff because that's going to be a pattern. That's your pattern. So if you're trying to make more money, see, this is the thing. Everything that you are looking to attempt to try to do to make more money is going to somehow, some way come from over here. So no matter what, it's going to go through the filtering process. So no matter what, you're going to break it down. You're going to delete, distort, generalize. Picture, sound, smells, taste, touch, sensation. In this box. We don't need to think outside of the box. I used to think that way. You don't need to think outside of the box. What you need to do is you need to pay attention to what is in the box. So if you know that you're going to see pictures a certain way when you're getting information from here, and that you're going to go through this process, what you need to say is, am I seeing this picture clearly? Am I seeing this picture clearly for what it is? Because if you say, and if you are honest up front and you really want to have change in your life, You will say to yourself, what about this picture do I know? And what about this picture am I just deleting and distorting? Because you can draw out your whole business plan and it will fail. It will fail because of what you got from your upbringing, life experience in that filter. So what you have to do is you have to just become aware of all of those things in the deleting process and start, and because this is the way that your brain is running this process. Sorry, I got a little tongue tied there. So what you want to do is you're going to become aware of all of this, that the information for whatever business opportunity, whatever way you're trying to make money, you just need to become aware of all of the things that you're going to be experiencing with your body. And then the next piece, which is very important, is that you have to know exactly what you want to accomplish. You need pick one small piece for your business, one small piece. And you're going to know if it's going to make a difference for your business, because when you pick that piece and you start to implement that, you are not going to have clear confidence that it's going to work. You're not going to have clear confidence that it's going to work. And this is the part, this is the bridge that you have to cross if you're going to be successful. Because if you're going to be successful, if we were to picture this, if you're going to be successful, you will not be the same individual that was deleting, distorting, and generalizing the information that you were getting over here. You're not going to be that same person. So what we want to do is we want to become aware. We know that the success is in the box that we've always been looking at. We just have not been able to see it. We've been blind to it. So you know that the success is right there. You're just blind to it. And you put a plan of action in place and pick something that is small but not too small, that you feel comfortable about it. It has to stretch it either has to stretch you financially, it either has to stretch you mentally, it has to make you go into another place that you haven't been at before. Now, when you're in that place of that feeling place, what I call it is like you're in the box and you're seeing all the stuff that you were used to, but what you're doing is you're kind of making yourself numb to that, because you're raising your level of awareness that what you're trying to accomplish is there. Like, it is there. If you're trying to make $100,000 a month, the $100,000 a month is there for you to get. And you're going to start going through this process. It's like what do they call it? A metamorphosis process, where the same things that you were seeing and the same things that you were hearing, the same things that you were smelling, the way that your body was reacting with certain things, it starts to change. It starts to upgrade itself. If we can imagine like you're a computer and you get a new upgraded software to make you a better computer. That's what's going to start to happen. So what you will start to experience is certain pictures won't affect you the same way. Certain sounds won't affect you the same way. Certain smells, tastes, touches, and sensations will not affect you the same way. One of the biggest reasons why it won't affect you the same way is because you've taken control of your conscious mind. You are taking more control of it. Now, we're going to always delete stuff, because we're going to delete the story. We have to do this because we won't be able to function as a human. But what we want to do is we want to target what we do want and what we don't want to delete. So this will help you see information for what it is, put it into action to see if something can work. I talk about this in one of my videos where I say you can get information from Tony Robbins. You can get stuff from Brendan Burchard, Frank Kern, who are some of the other people that are, Russell Brunson. You can get stuff from Billy Jean as marketing. You can get stuff from all of these people. You can get stuff from me. And it won't work because your body will not allow you to even see that information for exactly what it truly is. Because if I could be successful, you could be successful. If Billy Jean could be successful with his business, you could be successful. If Tony Robbins can be successful, you could be successful. If Russell Brunson could be successful, you could be successful. But this is the thing, is that soon as you start to see their success and you see everything that they have with their information and you say you buy it, the filter process starts to happen. You start to delete, distort, and generalize. You start to really delete and distort, and you start to say things like, well, they're successful because they got money. They're successful because they have access to different things, to different resources and people. When if you look back at all of their stories, they started at the bottom just like you might be started. Before I close it out, let me tell you some things, because if I don't tell you who I am, you will start to make your own story about who I am. My name is Stephen A. Williams. I'm the president and founder of 4 companies, 4 different companies in 4 different industries. Started my first company at the age of 20 with my wife in 1990. With $500, made that business, publishing business, helping small business owners in my local area advertise their businesses. Because at that time, computers were becoming less expensive, even though they were still expensive compared to what you would pay for one now. Software was becoming available, and there was a boom in the free advertising type publications. Made that company, my wife and I made that company into a multi-million-dollar business, hired people from our community, became very successful with it. That company lasted as a print business until December of 2003. We've transitioned the business because of the way that things are. More stuff is digital and people get their information in different ways. And businesses actually want to do a lot of this stuff themselves, so I do consulting with them. That's the major part of this here with why I do these videos, is if you ever need consulting, I'll consult with you to help you get your business to the next level. Now, something that I've done where I actually put this in place, in 2019, I started a company with a $20,000 investment. Whole different industry that I've never been in, never been trained in. As a matter of fact, with my publishing company, my wife and I did not go to school for graphic design and publishing, sales, and all of that stuff. We started the business with the goal, just like I said right here, but we were accidentally doing it. We were focused on the money. We did not let any of the stuff around us that said you can't do it because you don't have money, you can't do it because you didn't go to college for it, you can't do it because you don't know any people, you don't have the resources, you can't do it because you didn't have any experiences. We did not let that happen. We did not delete, distort, or generalize any of that information. And I must admit, it was on accident, because we were truly focused on making money for ourselves and our family and not having to work for anyone. I have not worked for anyone since the age of 20 years old. No one since the age. I've worked for myself, owned my own companies, the ups and downs, bad economies and all that. But let me tell you this quickly. In 2019, I started another company with a $20,000 investment. The goal on that company was to start a company, put everybody in place, pay them very well to do their job. They had the experience. Some of them went to college for their positions that they were holding with that company. That is the fastest company that I ever grew. Within 1 year, it was at about $500,000. Now, after 4 years, close to 5 years of business, getting close to $4 million a year in that business, in revenue. The only thing that I have to do for that business is I still do the marketing and I sign off on the payroll. That's it. $4 million company. So don't let anyone tell you you cannot be successful. Don't let anyone tell you you cannot have the things that you want to have in your life. All you have to do is run part. You know, there's other things that you can do, but I just gave you one of the things that you could do that I do for myself that can give you a head start on the way that you're thinking. Those are the things that are holding you back right now. All right, if you want to have any consulting, I can consult with you. Just there's a link below this video, or you can post it in the comments here on YouTube. Please like, subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. I love helping people out with making, helping you be able to make your life a lot better. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube.